Should I play the theme song? Is that really loud?
Oh
Sorry.
my god! My ears are gonna bleed.
Oh, I think my nasal cavities just
you tell me.
collapsed.
I think I liked it though.
Mr.
I
Derek,
think Pete's is quieter. That's why yours is probably.
No, it was loud.
It was loud.
Mr. Derek Veenhoff,
Who's better known as
Deek.
Drinking liquor with DJ Deek, we out laughing.
Yo, Deke. Are we on?
I always say we're live, but we're never live. Well, I've done one live.
Well, currently
I can't hear you.
we're live. I'm off. I lost my audio.
No, I can hear you. I can see you. I can see your audio.
I can hear you.
I hear you pretty well.
This is gonna be great.
I can hear me too. I can't hear anybody.
Are you can't hear yourself now?
Wait. Oh yeah, I can.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool.
I can
okay,
hear you.
well, let's do a little introduction so people know what they're listening to. I'm here with some of my graphic design professors. We'll start with Pete. This is Pete Voynovich,
Hello.
Greg Smith,
Hi.
and Colin Nun, who's now a professor, but I didn't have him as a professor. I had him as a coworker and friend. We
Good
were
day.
Friends.
Good day.
And now we're all friends
Colleagues, yes.
and colleagues and such. And so now these guys all work together. And they basically the entire wealth of knowledge of graphic design is in the three brains here.
Well, two, for sure.
Are you excluding Peter?
No, I'm excluding myself.
Ba-boom.
See where you went with
Let's bust
that.
some
That was
balls
good.
here. Who's the most knowledgeable about graphic design?
Oh, Greg.
Greg's got the
Pete.
biggest
Greg,
brain by
because he has
far.
Greg is, yeah.
No,
Pete,
no,
no.
Pete.
No.
Pete about graphic design.
No.
Can you guys hear me?
I got it. No, I can't.
No, barely.
How about now?
Oh
Can you
yeah,
hear
yeah.
me now?
There you are.
There
I
you
can
go.
hear you.
Hey.
Pete has probably the best overall knowledge. Yeah, and also he is, as you guys know, he is the master of Illustrator.
I try.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've never
Really?
seen. Honestly, I've never seen anybody better at
So he has
Illustrator.
technical proficiency in
Okay.
the software.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm okay at it. I'm okay.
Do you use? Have you ever used extrude and bevel?
Yes. I love it.
Do you?
All I use that and image trace. The default image trace and that.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what else you need. Yeah. Default.
Extrude and bevel.
One of the first logos I ever
Download.
did.
Like copy an image. Don't
Yeah.
download it. Just copy the screen of it. Paste
So
it
it
in.
down samples because you
Yeah.
want it down sampled, right?
And you
Yeah.
want those little poop smears on the end of all the
Oh,
shapes.
those are amazing.
You gotta
especially
go
with
in and clean
type.
those up, though.
No, leave them. That's how you know it's
You gotta
yours.
clean it up.
I was gonna.
It's officially yours if
I was
you got
gonna
it.
call. I was gonna call the police one time and report an assault because Pete had punched or kicked me when I had live traced something.
There's a good chance it happened.
It wasn't even a school project. It was one of the first projects I'd done like outside of school. And
Oh.
I was like, Pete, I can't figure this. Can you help me with it? He's like, what are you doing? And he just kicked me in the ribs or something.
Kicked you in the ribs
Yeah,
in
it was like
class.
a high. It was like a medium high kick.
It was with love, though.
Wow,
Pete-
that's good. That's
With love.
good.
Do you use Illustrator in your to teach in
Yeah.
your classes?
Yeah.
Not what I saw. You're using InDesign.
Well, yeah, I was making a friggin' book.
Yeah, I know. I was making a book too. I use InDesign as well.
Yeah. We were
Design
partners.
nerd fight.
We're
That's not a
partners. in
fight.
it.
I'm asking. I do.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like-
No.
yeah,
I thought
we-
you were gonna fight. Fight.
Well, we basically had the
fight,
same thing,
fight,
except I
fight,
had more
fight,
pictures.
fight.
Yeah.
Ow!
So what classes are each of you teaching at the moment?
No, nobody's teaching right now.
Oh, not at this
I'm
second.
going into it.
Are you?
I'm going in. Yeah.
Summer?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, generally speaking, when you return to teaching, what are you guys?
For summer, I'm doing the computers class. Applied digital technology, I believe it's called.
Now, what is
That
that like
sounds good.
an entry level into the program, or what? What do you learn?
Yeah, it's
Just
like
a general-
the second level
Okay.
of computer applications. So you Creative Suite.
Okay. Your Photoshops, your Illustrators, your InDesigns.
Indeed.
You got your three.
Yeah,
your big
Those
three.
Yeah.
That's
the
your-
big-
that's your
does
big
anybody use the other Adobe program?
Yeah.
What other
There's,
Adobe
there's
things?
like 18 different
Oh,
things
they
that
have
they have.
everything.
Oh, yeah.
They have something for everything. Do you remember Streamline, Peter?
Vaguely.
Yeah, Streamline was like a live trace program that
Isn't
you could.
that when they first were taking over Macromedia?
Yeah. It
Because
was,
it was Live Trace was good in like freehand or whatever it was.
yes.
What's that?
Don't touch the backup.
Keep your hands off it, Colin.
I actually edit the video podcast in Adobe
Premiere?
Premiere.
Premier.
Yeah.
From Welland.
It's good.
Yeah, Premiere's good. And After Effects, I've dabbled in those two, but I
I would
haven't.
like to try, but I haven't tried.
It's vector stuff. It's fun. It's fine. Colin's
I've never used it.
well. You see, Colin, you should be more open to these things.
I'm open
right?
to it.
Okay,
All you do is paint, Colin.
I don't.
very precisely.
Really
Thank you.
precise paintings.
Yes.
Typography paintings.
True. I've seen them.
I must say, Colin, since we're all friends here, we're all colleagues. I like your paintings.
Thank you.
I think they're very nice,
Thank you.
and I also have prints of
That's true.
some of his paintings
You have
as
3
well.
prints.
Yes.
Thank you.
What does
You're-
Colin think of his paintings?
Of my own paintings?
Yeah,
I like them.
they're good. Do you love them?
Yeah.
When you finish one, do you think, like, this is done, and then you put it on the wall, or you look at it when it's on the art show on the wall and like, I could have added this, or
No,
no,
I don't know.
they're just done.
No, because
Well-
I have something in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a sketch, and then I paint it
Once it's
until,
on the
until
canvas.
it's done the way that the sketch
Yeah.
looks.
Now, how deeply do you sketch? Like, I think you plan out pretty meticulously.
I do.
Deep sketching.
It shows.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Oh,
it to
thank
me. That wasn't a compliment.
Oh,
Could you explain the
I-
process of painting?
sure.
How do you sketch on the canvas, or do you draw
I-
out your lines on the canvas?
Yeah, I do. But I'll start with a sketch
Mm-hmm.
with a pencil and paper. Well, first, let me start here, though. I start by writing a lot of words down that I think could be good.
Now, what do you look for in those words?
Anything. Just the sound of the word, the meaning of the word. Just if I like the word. Like if I think of a word, I'm like, oh, that's a fun word, and I'll write it down, and then maybe I'll come back to it later and make a painting out of it.
Now, do you look for the combination of letters? Obviously,
Yeah.
Like if you obviously you don't want it to be like all I's and L's. You want there to be the odd Q, the odd Z.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't like to do long words.
It's understandable.
Shorter the better.
Shorter the better. Now, why is that?
I don't know.
Visual impact?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Or maybe it's just too hard to write a lot of letters for you.
No, I'm trying to think. What's the longest word? Maybe I did dead ringer, but I think dead ringer is actually 2 words.
Yeah.
But I made it 1 word and I painted it twice
Wow.
because it's dead ringer.
What does that
Oh,
mean?
I see.
What does that mean? Doppelganger?
Yeah, kind of.
Your clone?
Yeah.
Like you and Matt Damon from the
Like, yeah, like you're a
Transformers?
dead ringer. Yeah.
It's a great reference. Yeah.
I don't know where that came from, just
Yeah.
just pulled it out of thin air.
So that's cool.
Yeah. So I write down a lot of words. And then if I feel strongly about a word, then I have an idea for it. Then I'll do like a thorough sketch of it. And then I'll do some color renderings. Very similar to the process I learned at school. I have a hair in my eye. And then I'll do it in Illustrator very precisely. And then...
So you cheat.
Now,
No.
Use
do
Illustrator.
you draw out your like it's your own typefaces, or do you alter existing ones?
It's my own. I have altered existing, but I haven't painted any of those. Like I
Ooh.
have some in the works, but I don't know if I'm going to do those.
Oh,
because I
okay.
don't know if I want to do them because they're not mine. You know?
I think that's okay.
Is
Copyright wise, I would say yeah.
it? I don't know.
It's okay, but if it's not okay for you, then
It might be okay.
Well, because I mean, I'm not dissing you or anything like that, but I mean, some of your letter forms are obviously, if not derivative, they're, you use a lot of condensed sans serif,
Absolutely.
grotesque sort of stuff. So,
Just stuff that I'm drawn to.
yeah, no, but I think, if you wanted to use something like that, I don't think there would be a problem with that.
Well, okay. I don't know. I haven't approached a painting with that
Okay.
in mind.
You could do, for example, some nice Cooper Black stuff.
Maybe I will.
Okay.
Maybe I
I
will.
would like that a lot.
Pete would
You
like
would
that.
like that? Okay.
Fairbank Gothic.
Oh.
Or Comic Sans?
You know what? Everybody is harsh on Comic Sans, but I'm the older I get, I'm more diffident about it.
I don't care either.
It's good for people with dyslexia.
Is
And
it
I think
really?
I might have even said that in the last podcast we did, but like it's more like handwriting, and handwriting is easier for people with dyslexia to read. And the Comic Sans, so if you have someone who you're dealing with who is dyslexic, and I mean there's all sorts of people, do it with both letters and numbers, because each letter is different, it doesn't have that Helvetica-like pattern to it. It's easier to read.
Right.
It's easier to differentiate and not mistake the Q for the P, and etc.
Dyslexia.
Comic Sans. It's okay. You heard it here.
Yeah. No,
Back.
I'm pretty much okay with.
I'm okay with it too. I wouldn't want to see like a movie poster, let's say, Jaws. If you're making a movie poster and you put Jaws and I don't want that.
I've seen that on. I believe it's on the internet.
A Comic Sans
Like bad
version of
movie
Jaws.
posters?
Yeah, they take like movie posters and redo them in either like Helvetica or Comic Sans, or they'll do, the really tough ones are the ones that they'll do like one with Arial and one with Helvetica, and you have to guess the difference. I love those games.
Or he also likes guess is this
That
a
would be
font
a
or
good-
cheese?
That'd be a good be a good thing to do in class.
Yes, yeah. But we
Like
have to
a
thoroughly
fun-
explore the difference between Helvetica and Arial.
We
can
did
do that
that
this
at,
summer.
at OCAD in my type class.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like it. I didn't
Yeah,
like it
they're
that
meant
much.
to be similar.
Yeah.
And there's a new Helvetica out.
I saw this.
Yeah, I think it's called New Helvetica.
How do you spell new?
N-E-W.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, so there's a new, not Helvetica, new.
Noi.
Noi.
Which is sort of funny because the original name of Helvetica was Neue. What was? Oh my God, Neue something
Oh,
grotesque.
so that's a reference? That's actually like a throwback? To...
I think it's sort of its Swiss roots.
What is actually what is Helvetica Noi? Is that a
It's-
real... But
well,
it's
it's-
different?
Well, I
Helvetica?
think it was a digital update, sort of the first digital update of it. Like after they digitized it initially, then the redraw, and to make it a little more web friendly, they called it Neue.
Can you
There's
explain
more
for the...
weights in that one too, isn't there? There's more options in that for weight. Stuff
Yeah,
too, right?
yeah, they've added some stuff to it.
Right, all the condensed, the different formats of it. Can we explain to the layman who's not a graphic artist or designer about type and like the origins of it? Like when you say digitized, so there's a history of type, obviously, with the printing press and all that. Which is what you do with the what do you call it with the actual letter forms?
What the
metal-
metal type?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that? Can you
Yep.
explain that for people, like how type was initially?
Okay, so basically lead type or metal type was invented. You probably, the layman out there has heard of Johann Gutenberg, and basically he perfected a way of creating individual letters at the ends of lead slivers of metal. Okay, so, and the advantage of that, I'm watching my hand go on the screen here, was that they could be broken down and put back together in any order. So it wasn't like, in the old days before that, there was block books where you would carve the entire text into a block of wood.
And it's locked in.
Yeah,
It's locked in. You can't change
If you
it.
make
You
a
can't.
spelling mistake, you're done.
You're screwed, eh?
Start over.
So then
There's no autocorrect?
None.
the monks did not have autocorrect, but that basically stayed in place until the late 1890 or late 1800s, and the linotype machine came into being, and you could type it in, and little matrices would fall down in a certain order and you would cast a line of type. And that was really the huge invention up until what we call like cold type or like phototype, where basically it was a negative of the letter and light was shone through it and it was put on photosensitive paper and you would develop it, which was a lot of fun and smelly and all that. And then you would get type on like a piece of photo paper that you would have to cut and paste down.
And then computers.
And then computers came along and they digitized all those outlines basically. So there's vectors or like precise plotted points of all the type and or all the letter forms themselves. So I mean that was the first thing. Like when I started working on the computer, it was all the old type was being digitized. So you had Helvetica, you had Garamond, you know. And
So you only had a handful of fonts at the beginning because, yeah.
And when I was at NASCAD, it was like there was like 12 fonts on the computers there.
What computer were you using then?
Well, it was a Mac, whatever, the old lovely putty
The old-
gray boxes. Yeah.
This is what Steve Jobs talks about because he took a typography class.
He doesn't talk about it very
Well,
much
used
anymore.
to. Well, he mentioned this because he took a typography class.
Yeah, and he wanted Mac typography to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Which is also sort of funny because the original Macs used Helvetica. They actually bought Helvetica from the Linotype company or Monolino company. And what did Windows do, or whoever owns Windows or whatever? They instead created Arial, which is basically...
A shitty copy of it?
Yeah, and if you typeset in Helvetica, at least the old versions, and Arial, all the line endings and the spacing is exactly the same. So it replaces it seamlessly, doing air quotes.
Those bastards.
Yeah.
Seamlessly.
And I think that, like, when you hear Eric Speakerman talk about Windows machines or whatever, that's why he gets so angry about it, because they...
How old is he? Do you know?
If you
Ballpark?
guys, I'd say he's in his early 70s, like 72.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was younger.
He seems younger because of his anger.
Carries a
Whenever
lot
I
of anger.
read his tweets, he sounds like a young guy.
Yeah. Pete has experienced Eric Speakerman's anger.
I did once.
In person?
Yes.
Where?
Yeah, we went.
Did he yell at you?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we went to.
You did?
Yeah. When the type conference was in Buffalo, we went because we're like, whoa, type conference. So I only wanted like a 1-day pass because I wanted to hear Speakerman. And I had
Speak.
Yeah. So we had to call the type guys and try to organize buying like a 1-day pass instead. So I had to show up super early, and he was there, like the only one there that early in the morning. And
It was Pete and I and Eric Speakerman.
yeah, and they were trying to figure out how to like hold the locks open on the doors, like the little plunger thing. Mm-hmm. And they were using duct tape on it. So Eric Speakerman's like, "This is the first time I saw duct tape." I said, "Where's the ducks?" And he turned around and looked at me, and I was like, "Oh."
Good one.
You know, everyone says that and no one ever laughs, but he was waiting for like an actual laugh, and I was like, I don't know, Eric, I don't think I can do it. And then shortly later, they carted in all this coffee, and it was Starbucks coffee, so it's like high end, like fancy coffee, right? So I just stood there and like chugged coffee all day. And then Eric walked up again, and he's a small man, not very large.
Like me.
I think you're larger than him.
Really?
I actually say I know you're larger than him, yes. But yeah, and he said, you know, what do you drink? I was like, coffee. And he said, coffee's for proletariats. I drink tea. And then walked away. And I was like, but it's free, Eric. So I just kept drinking. I was like, I don't know.
He's a tea guy.
Yeah.
Also, I just checked on my interweb phone.
Frozen.
And he's 71.
71.
When did you check that?
You were busy
It was-
talking.
It was very
Eric's the
sly.
fact checker
It was
of
very
the
sly.
podcast. Wow,
Which
we
is a
need one
word
of
that I
those
wrote down
on
that I
the
like.
show.
Can we
Sly.
check?
Sly
Can we
snakes.
check that? Can we rewind that?
No.
This is live. This is on. This is on CNN.
Are you
right now.
challenging? You're going to go to the videotape?
Call for review.
I also later on, after Pete left that day, there was another event at the Albright Knox Gallery, and I had designed a button that said the word normal on it, set in meta, which this is like a real type nerd joke, but like meta normal is a weight of type that Eric Spiekerman designed. So
Very nerdy.
Yeah.
Very nerdy.
I gave him the button and he looked at it and he actually said, instead of laughing, he went, ha ha ha. And he went, that is funny. And he was like, but did you buy the typeface? And I had bought that typeface at the old font shop in Toronto, so I told him that, and I left him speechless at that point. Well, great that you bought this typeface, go away. And were you there when he called those people out?
Oh, for the PDFs?
Yes.
He was angry. Apparently no one there knows how to make a PDF properly. So I don't know if they were falling apart when he was opening them, but he was...
Oh, for his presentation.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
They had done Made with Font book.
Weren't they looking? He was looking at their work or something.
No, I thought they were sending him in samples of their work
Yeah.
using fonts, which was what his font shop fonts were called, font. And he said, yeah, a lot of people have trouble with the PDFs. And people laughed in the audience. And he called a guy out, hey, you shouldn't be laughing. You don't know how to make a PDF. You couldn't, we had to get your PDF redone, It was amazing. And just
professionals that can't do PDFs, that's strange. In any field, I don't care if you're a designer or what you are, you should be able to handle Adobe Acrobat.
I would hope, but
Yeah.
Well, I think it's more the building of the file in either Illustrator or InDesign. The making of the PDF, the exporting is usually the easy thing. You hit Command E or whatever, save it. And it's what you do beforehand that can get you in dire straits.
Mm-hmm. Like the band.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Almost.
It was a band.
Money for nothing.
So changing gears here.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you guys about teaching and the transition from when you're a student of graphic design and then all of a sudden you find yourself in a teaching position. What is the feeling like? I'm sure maybe you have different experiences with it because Colin is newer to teaching as well.
Very new. I'm very new.
So you hear this fake it till you make it kind of thing out in the professional world, and sometimes I could imagine that when you are first a teacher, you might think, well, I'm still kind of a student, because you're always kind of a student through your life as well. So is it a combination of the two? Pete, we're looking at you.
I see I'm up here.
I'll go if you want.
When I kind of transitioned into teaching, I was just kind of thrown into it because I was like, Greg, what do I do? And Greg was like, just do what you want, man.
That's what Gilfelt told me.
Yeah.
When I would look at the TLP and I'm like, I don't know half the stuff on here. He's like, do whatever you want then.
Honestly, for like the first...
I'm like,
Was
really?
that
I
before his brain injury?
Yeah, it was before.
This was just before, yeah.
Sorry. Go
Yeah, but like when I first started, like I didn't know, like the rules were a little more slack at that point. So kids would ask for TLPs and I didn't even know what the hell that was. I was just like, oh yeah, it's on Blackboard. But I didn't even know.
It probably was though.
It could have been. I don't
It
know.
probably was. Because I
had
get
no-
the class assigned to me and it's there.
Yeah,
And
this
this
was
is the TLP, is the teacher's learning plan.
Yeah, it's like a
Teaching
lesson
and learning
plan,
plan, yeah.
But it was, I don't know, it was a little more slack.
There's no point to it because you get derailed immediately when classes are canceled because of ice storms. We can't. Sorry.
We're getting political all of a sudden.
Nature
buses aren't
happens
running
call.
today. It's windy. Oh, okay.
Wow.
I showed up.
Wow.
I showed up.
Did you message everyone through Blackboard when you got there?
No,
and say,
this
well, I'm
is
here.
the dual credit. I'm ranting about
Oh,
the dual credit.
That's high school students.
Because
right?
it's the high school students.
Yeah.
But there was 1 week and I'm worried about every day because a dusting of snow and nothing's running. They shut it all down because kids can't handle snow now.
No,
And then, so
I'm supposed to be the grumpy
and
old
I thought,
one.
I thought, well, I need to check this every day before I go because who knows? They could cancel it for
Do you get
a couple.
alerts directly to your phone? I do.
No.
I get
Also,
alerts.
I don't want that. I turned
Pete's
it off.
a fire marshal.
Yeah,
No, fire.
I'm fire warden. I don't know if you guys knew this.
He's
I
got a
have-
vest.
I have 2 vests, actually. 3.
Are you
3
joking?
vests. No. Do you want one?
Sure.
Okay. They're,
You only have 2.
well,
I'll trade you. I have a construction vest in the trunk of my car.
okay, deal. I've got 1 from the strike and 2 firewarden vests. But the firewarden vests, I don't know, they don't say anything about being like flame retardant on them. And they're like vinyl. So I'm pretty sure if I ran into anything hot, it's going to like shrink wrap to me.
Why do you have one in the back of your car just so you can get into
I
places? that you
found it
might
when I
need
was
to-
living in Toronto. I found it on the ground. There was
Oh.
Probably wouldn't have touched
there was a
that.
construction area like
Oh,
by
okay.
where I was living, and I saw it there, and I left
This
it
is
for
cool.
a day. And it's like it was right outside the door.
You
sort
could have
of.
just showed up on site.
And I'm
lunch,
like, well,
free
that's
lunch.
a good
Yeah.
construction vest. Like you could use that for construction.
And now we
Have-
found
It's
it.
got all the reflectors on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'll just throw it in my car's
Have-
right. I'll throw it in the trunk of my car. Maybe somebody will come and ask for it later.
Have you ever used it?
Never.
Oh, okay.
It's been in the trunk. ever
I've worn
since.
mine several times.
You can
every
get, if you combine that with one of those white engineer hats.
You
get
could
in
just go
anywhere.
door to
Just
door
go,
with a
"I'm here to
clipboard."
check the whatever.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna check the
Oh,
meter
okay.
in your basement.
No one will question it, yeah. I
Yeah.
I also have a whistle and earplugs.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
Forfeited
can-
the whistle.
You can get that anywhere.
Yeah, but was yours given to you from Health and Safety Department? I don't think so.
It's official. So, in conclusion, now you're a master and you're a teacher, and there's no questions about it. You're just
If he
you're
ever
thrown
has
into it, and now you're just amazing at it.
if he ever
Yeah.
has an unruly class, he just shows up in the vest with a whistle.
I dropped the whistle. Now I have the recorder.
Oh yes, I brought him a
So,
recorder.
Yeah.
The
So-
instrument?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you hear
Hot cross buns.
either Hot Cross Buns or Three Blind Mice, get the hell out.
Same song.
I mean,
Oh, sorry.
it's the only one I know about. Yeah.
So, I guess, is it just really, you just have to be knowledgeable in your field, and you don't need to be, there's not some sort of expert teaching skill that you need. You just need to be knowledgeable in whatever you're teaching.
No.
I
No, you have to
No.
be able to deliver the information to a student in a way that they comprehend.
well, I would say yeah.
Someone.
Just
try-
because you know it doesn't mean you're good at explaining it to somebody.
Yeah,
Oh, it's true.
I think also when a couple of years ago I took some time off and did some type design, and I took a year off work, and well, not
A sabbatical?
a sabbatical or
I remember this.
I like that word
professional
too. Maybe
development
I'll
leave.
write that one down. Sabbatical. It's a little
And-
long. But okay. Sorry.
But it was weird because I hadn't really been in school, and I took a type design course from a dude in Toronto, and it was funny because I learned totally different, and the things that I did before when I was a student didn't work this time around, and I got sort of angry at myself, and I had to sort of relearn how I learned, and it gave me a lot more empathy for the different types of learners that are out there. And I mean, I tend to read a lot, especially about typography and that. But looking and doing, and they all have to combine together. And I don't know, it's just trying to get people to do that. And I think all of us probably agree, if you don't do anything, you probably won't do anything. So if you you have to do something, even if it is crap, to learn from it.
Well, yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yes, Colin.
Okay.
Go ahead, Colin.
Just gonna cough.
Mic number 1.
Always going to cough.
I'm gonna cough. My
Go
question
ahead.
is, do you, before you teach a class, let's say you have a new class coming in September.
Yes.
Okay. You've never seen the students before. Do you feel the need to sort of explain? I can't hear myself. It's me. To explain. Why are we laughing?
No touching
Good,
other
carry on.
people's
Okay,
volume knobs.
It's a
stop that.
legitimate question. I just want to know, do you explain I lost my train of thought already.
That's okay.
Do you explain sort of your interest in what you're about to teach about, and maybe get the students sort of on board with you before you start to get into a lot of details? Do you feel the need to make the connection for the students that you are passionate about what you're going to explain?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think, hopefully, if I say the word typography enough times and, I get a little sweat on my brow because I love it so much. But I think that is part of it. It would be difficult to go through a semester of teaching without like giving it away that you're really passionate about it.
But do you say anything? Do you? at the
Oh
beginning
yeah,
of the
I'll
class, do you
say I love typography almost as much as life. You know,
And you love life a lot.
I do.
I know you do. You were in the class that we were in together. I don't even know the title of the class, to be honest.
Life class.
No, it was Concept to Market.
Oh,
And you were just happy-go-lucky. Remember, I was telling you to be quiet because I was trying to grade in class.
Oh, okay, yes.
And I
yeah.
told you to keep it down, and I was kind of joking, but still sort of not joking because
Yeah,
I
you
really
could-
was trying to focus.
Yeah, I could tell. You were sick then too.
I was
weren't you?
very- yeah, I was
he
sick.
was cranky.
I was a little.
Sick
I'm
in the
always
head,
cranky,
or-
but I was a little
Yeah.
bit more cranky than usual, and probably hangry.
Well, I find like not that it doesn't necessarily help, but I mean like, yeah, you got to be into what you're doing.
And
you
then
know?
the students look at you with a blank stare, like, "Who is this guy?
Well, yeah.
And what is he talking about?"
Well, I think I mean I remember that when I was in school, like when
I remember it too. Oh,
yeah.
with you.
But it like Horst, I had it at NASCAD. I mean, he was like a design and typographic genius to me, and he like his reputation sort of preceded him a little bit. But when I sat down and listened to him, it was like, oh my god, like yeah, like I want to understand in the way he understands. Although
I had
that's
that.
sort of silly because I would have to have experienced everything.
Lived his life,
Yeah,
and you haven't.
but I remember he said to me, and I was so pissed when he said it to me when I was a student. He said, "You know, Greg, it's always German people. You know what you should do, Greg? You should design." And this is like right when I'm almost ready to graduate. You should design little books. And the thing that pissed me off so much was the word "little." It's like,
But you can't handle a big book.
yeah, you can stay away from the big books because those are for the real designers. But it was like you should design little books, and it was like, wow. And of course, what did I end up doing? Designing little books, like both size and thickness. So yeah.
As a student of yours, though,
Go ahead, Colin.
I thought, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. Like you command attention.
Oh, okay.
You did, and
Just
because I
because
did.
I was fat?
Okay, I remember. No. You had a beard though. You had a nice
sugar?
beard. You
Yeah.
looked wise.
Well, yeah, I think that's also, and I just read something that if you're white, male, older, and have a beard, you tend to have a lot less problems in the classroom with students.
You win elections too.
You've got a lot of those things going for you.
Yes, I have pretty much
All of them.
Yeah.
You have all of them.
Yeah, but and I think that's one thing that
I don't have that going for me. I feel I probably should be going into the college in a suit and tie, so I don't get.
It'd be too much.
No,
I think it'd be
because
too
I
much.
yeah.
get
But
mistaken
could
for
you
a student.
imagine the student,
People
this
poke
tie
their heads
and
in.
that?
Are you teaching this class or are you a student?
People say
right.
that to you now?
Yeah. Are you
Tell him to
teaching?
get,
He's a
to
young
get mad,
chap,
tell
I
him to
mean-
get out.
No, so shut the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of
My
here.
name is Frank. Get out.
0. That's what I'm giving you.
I was mistaken for a student by the college administration when they set me up with a student account, and I couldn't access Blackboard.
I had that as well.
It wasn't a joke.
I think there's a certain pattern there in your life that maybe I think that might be a little too personal to explore in depth in this venue, you know.
Or maybe that's exactly what we want to do.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
dive deep into our personal lives.
Yeah, okay, Colin. So, how do you explain this deep inadequacy that you have?
I don't have an inadequacy.
Oh, okay.
I
See, he
No,
jumped on that
no,
pretty.
no. What I'm saying. No, because I think you have the teaching experience and you have the white beard.
Yes.
I think you have going into a class. You have an easier time. Maybe not easier, but you have.
People.
It's a more direct.
Yeah, I
they
feel like
understand directly what they're.
I feel like when the eyes are on me, they look at me like, "Who is this guy? And what does
Bozo.
he like? What is he?"
Imposter
gonna teach us?
syndrome.
He's not going to know.
Yeah,
any
like
of
I
this
am
stuff.
obviously like unless something weird happens, like I'm obviously going to say, okay, I'm blah blah blah, and I'm going to be blah blah blahing blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Greg Smith, and I'm going to be
wise.
teaching you knowledge.
But I say that too, but I feel like there's no, it just,
Well,
not,
yeah.
they're like, what can you know? Like, you don't know.
Do you have like a theme song when you walk in?
No, but I should.
Yeah.
Pete's got walk-up
I
music.
should.
Yeah, I walk into Hot for Teacher every year. Every year.
I was going to say Careless Whisper.
Oh, I know.
That's at the end of the semester.
Colin could walk into the popcorn song, Hot Butter.
Yes.
I
We
like
used to have to dance to that during the
Really good
participation thing.
Popcorn?
Yeah,
Wow.
it
I
was
would,
the health hustle.
I would love to see that.
It was the health hustle at Camden in
Speaking of German
1972.
people, that was a German composition
Was it?
originally. Yeah,
Yeah.
was
Popcorn
covered-
was?
It was an early German synthesizer guy
Oh.
who wrote it, and then the cover became popular by that Hot Butter group.
Hot butter.
They must have named themselves Hot Butter just because of the popcorn song.
It's the only song they do, yeah.
So they popularized it. But
Wow, I did not know that.
everything's from Germany. Hitler was German.
No, he wasn't.
He was Austrian.
I saw Hitler's car on his birthday the other day. I was at the War Museum
420.
in Ottawa on 420, and I walked by his car. They thought it was Hermann Goering's
right?
car for years, and
Oh.
and then they realized in the 70s somebody double checked the paperwork.
And it turned out to be,
It was one of Hitler's 7.
And of course, because the Germans are the Germans, there was paperwork. That's one good thing. They documented it all.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
meticulous. Meticulous.
ridiculous.
So yeah, that was a little sidebar. But what about? Can we talk about? This is a controversial subject, actually. The Nazi logo, as a design, like, can you separate the controversy, I guess is the word, from the design and talk about the design? Because it's a very strong, bold design.
Oh,
in
well,
and of itself.
but I think also it's very clear that it was purposeful.
Right,
Like,
of course.
and
But
they,
that's what design is supposed to be, right? Purposeful, right?
yeah, but I think there's also, little things like ethics and that, morality
Yeah, for sure.
come into.
I guess you could talk about ethics of the logo,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
Well, and also I think that didn't Hugo Boss design the uniforms as well?
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Or is that him?
like
Did
I
him?
think he.
I've heard
Really?
that before. I don't
Yeah.
know. I never actually looked into it.
Yeah,
but
if
I've
you
heard that.
if you look at, like, they have old advertisements like Hugo Boss,
I
sells
like the way he says that.
Advertisements?
advertisements. Yeah, that's
Or
that's-
advertisements.
No, I can't say advertisements.
I like the other. I like advertisements.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
better.
But I don't say that.
I'm going to start saying it.
but
See, you'd sound way smarter.
Advertisements.
Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
You open up next semester, just say
I don't-
advertisements.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
all.
So design can be used for evil.
Yes. Actually, it's interesting, not quite in the evil way, but the other day in where I live, I won't give particulars because I know so many people who design logos and that locally. There was a local restaurant in Grimsby,
McDonald's.
and it was in it's a mom and pop shop. It was in still is for the time being, in a mall, like a little outdoor mall sort of thing, plaza.
Plaza.
And
Or plaza.
plaza. It was a plaza, and it was in a row with all either like national or international other like stores, and they had this obvious. It was my cousin's sister's brother-in-law who did the logo for me. You didn't even notice it there. And it was so sad because that's what design should do. Like, it should help the small people, the smaller businesses, but they tend not to use it as much. And I think that's the one thing that I have problems with, the sort of the business side of design and the horribleness of, yes, you can make a logo for a wonderful, a nonprofit group that helps people with safe injection sites or whatever. You can also design a logo for,
The Nazi swastika.
a mass murdering, bunch of crazy people. So I find that, like, that's why I think as designers we have to be,
You would have to.
centered. and understand more about life than just,
Just
Pete.
the design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's a dude down in San Francisco, that Mike Montero, who's I follow him on the Tweeter, and he's really, like, you can't have design without having ethics. Like, that should be built into it. And I think that's one thing that, like, when when I was out of school, of course there was a recession and all that. It was like, I want work. I need work. I need to live. So I thought I would do anything. But I didn't. There were things that I didn't do. I set up like a little list of things I wouldn't do.
What was one thing on the list?
Yeah.
I think it was something that I didn't believe in.
A Nazi swastika.
I can pretty much say that I don't believe in Nazism or whatever as a...
Fair enough.
Hopefully it's not too much of a big deal.
Yeah, dude, that works.
But yeah, and that was, I wish I still had it, because I printed it out on a little card, like, and put it in my wallet. I carried a wallet then, and I would refer to it occasionally. Like, my friend was a packaging designer, and he wouldn't do work for like cigarette companies because even though he
smoked,
he himself smoked copiously, but he didn't think it was a good idea for kids to smoke.
That's a good
So, and I think that's the one thing that is, yeah, and like, how do you draw that line?
Well, and where do you draw the line with the amount of money? Like, it's like how much money could
sway
need to be
you.
offered to do that.
Yeah,
Some people want to have a breaking point.
that's the thing. I've been in the minor leagues for so long. I don't have a breaking point.
Right.
And I think I've always, sort of like Draplin says, you want to do a logo for your buddy's band or whatever. And I think that I've always had enough, like, non-paying sort of fun jobs and the stuff I do on my own, that, like, I'd rather do that and have fun and have less money than have the clients, man. The clients.
Would you guys agree with the statement that you should have a set price for whatever the thing is that you do, and if someone wants a deal, you should just choose, if you want to give someone a deal, do something for free, pro bono work, if it's a friend or something, but then always keep your price. You know how some people, it happens in the DJ world too, where they just want to give someone a deal so they'll cut their price in half, but doesn't it kind of devalue the product or the service, and then that information gets out, or they tell a friend, oh, I got it for 300 instead of 600, or that kind of thing. Does that make sense?
It's a slippery slope.
Pro bono, or you charge what you're worth? Or is there no rules to that? Because it's your business, you can do what you want, I guess.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I mean,
Does it harm the industry, though? Does it harm the value, the perceived value of...
I mean, if you're working with friends, right, you're going to probably collaborate and do other things.
Or barter.
Or you work,
Barter, whatever.
A little trade.
Yeah, I think the thing of it is that if somebody, well, I mean, now, because you can go online and get like a logo for like $99 or whatever.
Not even
99 cents now, probably.
Not even.
The rate
But
is going.
but it's like I find that
Trace it. Free.
if you, I think there should, like, if I'm charging $50 for a logo, and I'm actually doing research about it and all that sort of stuff. 5
minutes to work on it.
Yeah. Like if somebody just says to you, could you throw something together for me? Like if my my friend James came to me and said, I'm doing a podcast or whatever, and I need a logo. Yeah, I'm going to do it for free, and I'm going to say to him, don't tell anybody that I did this for free.
Sorry.
But
Stop,
again, like, and again, I think it does devalue design, and also not so much like the putting it together digitally or whatever, but it's the thought that goes into it. Like Colin's paintings are good because of the sketching that he does beforehand. That's
a lot of thought goes into
that's
it.
the value of the design, and that's
even
the value.
after they're done. I'm thinking about them. Well, that good. That didn't turn out so good. But
Well,
it
yeah,
hangs
but-
on the wall. But I was
Yeah,
talking
but
to
that's-
Farnsworth about his, and he said the same thing about his. He looks at them and he sees them as unfinished, and he could have done this there and
Yeah,
that there.
but I
But
think that's part of the assimilation of your crewman of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, debriefing after something is done with a design. You get to see that all the time. If you design a crappy logo and it's on like a billboard or whatever, oh boy, you get to.
Yeah.
That thing about the painting not being done, I have that with beets. Like when I produce something and then I mix it.
The vegetable?
Yes. When I'm mixing the beets in the salad, what happens is,
Oh,
so when I'm mixing a musical production, you can do a mix, and if it's just subjective. Like if it sounds good, you send it to the artist and they record it or however you're doing it. But then you might hear the track back when it's mastered and it's put out on Spotify or something. You're like, the snare doesn't sound right. I wish I would have replaced it with a clap.
yeah,
But you can't.
What are you talking about?
You can't. It's done. It's finished. You can't.
Yeah.
It's done on Spotify and edit the song.
yeah, but that's all part of the fun, though, right? The next time you do it,
That's
gonna,
it. The next
you're
one
gonna
you
put
do,
the
you'll
clap.
have that.
I need to get
Just
over that
claps.
with
You'll get the
both with
clap.
logos and stuff and with music. I need to get over just release it. It's done. Move on to the next project. I can get hung up easily on old
Yeah.
stuff.
And I think that's one thing I try not to look like back too much unless you get it shoved in your face.
Like you gave me that little book, the Damn It, I Need a Princess phone, and I brought it in class as an example, and he looked at it and he's like, oh, I can't look at this.
It was
And I look at it and I see it's beautiful.
It's rough as a badger's ass.
It's
is
beautiful,
what it
though.
is.
It's got lovely margins.
If that's what you can say about it, then I think that shows its value.
The type isn't going right to the edge of the page, so.
Well, that's
What
one
about
thing.
Colin?
to say.
Do you like your old stuff? How far back do you have to go? A week ago?
It's not good. It's not good. I threw it all out, all my stuff.
Get rid of it all?
Yeah, I just
you
don't
have to.
What about when you drive by that? Is that sign or that "Welcome to Welland" still up?
Yeah.
And
I cringe every time because because I look at it and I'm
Wait,
like,
which one is that?
Don't you know this, Peter?
No.
Oh, tell us, Colin.
Is it the one by the canal?
yeah,
Oh, with the bridge and stuff.
yeah.
Hey,
It's really good.
No, it's 80% of what it should be.
That's pretty good. 80s.
Well, it was vandalized. It was vandalized. So the original version of it.
What? What
Did you
happened
not
to
hear
it?
the story?
do
No,
tell.
I didn't know it was.
Okay, so this went up. First
Dude
of all,
probably
this is
did
a
it.
long story.
Oh, I
They had
know.
they had a ribbon cutting ceremony, and then the Tribune called me and asked me my opinion on it, and this thing is up, and I didn't know that,
It's big time.
and I said, "This is the first I've heard of this thing being up," and they're like, "Oh,
They
you weren't at the ribbon cutting or like the ceremony?" I'm like, "No, I didn't know."
Oh man, that's harsh.
Mhm. Yeah.
Who was?
And then so I went over there
Was
and
that
took a
Peter
look.
Cormos's fault?
I don't know whose fault it was. I'm not saying any names. I don't know.
Come on, Pete. Who
We're
would have
looking
been the
at
mayor
you,
then?
Peter Cormos.
I don't know.
He's
Yeah, no, I
dead.
would-
It was
him?
it was 2007.
2007.
Who would that?
It
have
doesn't
been?
matter. Let's not name names.
Yes, let's do it. Names.
Fight.
So the thing was up, the colors were off, but the design was pretty well dead on to what I had submitted for the design. What they made was almost identical. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. I don't even know who made it, but it looks pretty good. The problem was the colors were off.
Yeah.
The blue is supposed to be darker, and it had more of a regal feel.
Oh, I see.
Instead,
Okay.
it looks
See,
almost
City
like.
of Welland Blue is not regal.
Well, they used the City of Welland blue,
Yeah.
but it.
default, yeah.
Well, maybe that's why they did. So they made changes, right? And this is it gets passed down, and then somebody looks at it. Oh, I can make that better, and they just, I'll make this part red. And
Oh,
right?
I see. Is that what you mean by vandalized?
no,
Why?
it was actually vandalized. So this thing
Oh.
was up for maybe
Okay.
I don't know, a year, and then I drove by it, and it was literally like a blue board. There was nothing on it anymore. Like the letters had been ripped off, and there were roses on it, and there was like a banner. And so it was all off. It was gone.
Wow.
Like someone stole it.
Yeah, because you can
Neighboring
walk right up.
township.
I went over there with my friend, and I climbed on the bridge, and I got photos of it. I'm like, Also, I'm sweaty. It's in the summer. I'm all sweaty. I'm on the top of it, like getting photos.
Do you have a photo? Is it like on your
No, it's not on my phone, but I have photos.
on your like
I can email you
social
photos.
media somewhere?
No, I'll post
you
one.
on social
I'll
media?
tweet a photo of me on the sign when it was
Yes, please.
pre-vandalization.
Please
Is
do.
it
And
all
then-
back now? In place?
Yeah, so I don't know who redid it, but they redid it, and it's close to what that one, the original version was, but it's not identical. And they made changes again, and this is where like now it's red, and there's the roses have like green leaves. It was supposed to be like 3 colors: blue, gold, and white. And it's now they've got green and red and blue and gold and yeah. And they told me the banner at the top. Well, it's also a long story because it originally didn't have French on it, and then they said it needs to have
Welland?
French and English on it.
Oh, Zut
Mon
alors,
Dieu.
And I said, well, we're adding a lot of text now. We are getting a lot of text in there, and it's getting real busy.
You live in Welland?
Yeah,
Have you ever
East
been
side
to
of
the
Welland?
east side?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Rue Empire? Come on.
I'm aware.
There are a lot of
French.
Frenchmen,
Yeah.
women.
Very large French population in Welland, yeah.
Yeah. So
Outside of
so
Quebec, it has the
I'm-
largest French population in the world.
there is.
No.
Yeah.
Outside of Sudbury. in
Sudbury,
Ontario,
sorry,
I'm
yeah.
told.
What else don't we know about Welland?
Oh, it's a veritable cavalcade of facts, Peter.
It's a canal city.
It is. So they say.
It's got nice
It's-
bike trails.
it's-
Those bike paths that go all the way. Down
Pete's ridden down them.
I did once, yeah, when my kids were smaller, we did a ride with them in this, like, you know, those little caboose things?
Yep.
I thought it was cool, so I'm like, jump in, kids. And,
Was it getting all wonky all over the path, like when they do this?
no, it wasn't
You know,
that bad.
The speed wobble?
No,
When
no,
you're
no.
going too fast.
No, no, no.
You're just-
No, I
No?
was okay. I was okay with that.
No.
I don't have a bike.
Oh. Do you know how to ride a bike?
Maybe still. It's
Training
been a
wheels.
while.
There was no,
Yeah.
You
there
don't
was no
forget.
speed wobbles.
You don't forget.
I wasn't hitting those kind of speeds. Dragging this
Going
parachute.
Down the little inclines, though, you pick
Yeah,
up speed.
all the way to port, right? It was nice. And then I turned around coming back, and I'm like, holy crap, there's a lot of uphill. So I was
Yeah.
dying, right? And it was wind in my face.
Wind, a lot
and
of
this
wind, I
thing
was
like
gonna
a
say.
parachute behind me. And then my kids were getting angry, so I'm like trying to huck granola bars and over the back at them and stuff. And they weren't having it, and they
Just
started
opening pudding cups. Ah,
Yeah.
there you go.
It's just fire in the hole, shooting things in the back.
Pudding grenades.
Yeah, and they were starting to scrap, so it started like jumping. That's when sort of speed wobbles, but it was them scrapping.
Oh.
So the thing was like bouncing all over the place, and I'm all like, "Yeah, cut it out, kids!"
Helmet?
Riding my bike.
Helmet?
Always safety first, man.
Yeah.
Safety first.
Yep.
Now, a story of us, me and my friend riding that bike trail without helmets. There is a bridge at some point in the middle that has a very narrow sidewalk, and we were coming back, and we were going on that bridge, and someone was biking. 2 people were biking this way towards us, and we were both going a little too
Well, in
fast.
standoff, yeah.
And so my friend was trying to slow down, but his brakes didn't quite slow quick enough, and then he just skidded on the gravel, and he went over his handlebars,
Oh.
and his pack. We had all these big packs
Fanny
full of
pack. You
stuff.
need a fanny pack.
Not like bigger than that, like army, like.
Oh, one of
on
those
the back
packs.
Of the bike. It went flying, hanging on the railing of the bridge. He went over the handlebars. He was bleeding all up his arm, like blood to the point where you're like, okay, I don't think we have to go to the hospital, but we need to develop like a tourniquet of some kind. So I dug in my backpack and pulled a clean pair of underwear out, and I wrapped it around my friend's elbow.
It's a serious backpack, yeah.
And
What
so
kind
he
of
drove
underwear?
All the way back with my bloody underwear on his arm.
Elastic waistband?
Yeah. And then he just
They
ditched
make
it
ones
in
with
a
elastic
bush.
waistbands?
He dished my bloody underwear in a bush.
I guess they
somewhere.
don't, yeah.
And I don't know what happened to the underwear.
Someone found those and was like, "Oh man,
Something happened.
there's a story behind these undies."
The police are still looking.
So,
I've
It's
been on that
dangerous.
path and I've seen ladies' underwear just like on a branch.
that's weird. What's going on?
What is that? What? Are we getting played out?
We're getting played out.
We're done.
Did I fix it?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what that was? Because I played the intro and I left it playing for the whole time.
Oh.
So it played 45 minutes. It's the intro and outro are in one song. So we
okay.
played.
You're
it
supposed to
played
pause.
us out.
You're supposed to
I'm
pause.
supposed to pause.
Ah,
You know what a pause
Ignore
is?
that, folks.
Pause.
That was good. That was nice.
I like that.
had a bit of drama to it.
It
I
was
didn't
like
know
we're
what you
going
guys
to
talked about 'cause I
commercial.
didn't have my headphones
We'll be
on.
back
I was like,
after
what are you
these words from our sponsors.
If that's the outro, it's like we won't be back after this. After this outro, we're done.
I'll cut that part out. Fix it in Adobe.
In the Adobe.
Any gripes or things that you guys want to complain or talk about in the world today?
Oh,
Anything making
jeez.
you mad?
Poor
Pointed to
driving.
Greg. You
Whoa,
pointed to
whoa.
Greg.
Poor driving, mostly.
Really?
Driving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drivers.
Poor drivers.
Oh,
Doing
yeah,
3-point turns on the overpass. For no...
What,
Just
like,
continue.
just
and-
this just happened?
Yeah, on the way here.
Come on.
I was getting on the 406 on the overpass.
What, a woodlawn?
No.
Coming from Welland, you're getting off the 406 at Eastchester?
No,
Or-
Merritt Road.
Oh, yeah, Merritt. Where all those new houses are.
Yeah. And this van was just in front of me and going straight, and then you have to merge to the right to get on the 406 to come here, and the van's just sort of going real slow, and then braked. There's no reason to brake there. Where are you going? There's just stopping, and then proceeded to do a 3-point turn. Like they realized, oh, I wanted to go that way. I needed to go south. And they did a 3-point turn and turned around. And I think you can do a 3-point turn, but probably not there.
It's sort of funny. Colin is a little like one of those complaint comedians, like sort of like
Yes,
a Richard Lewis maybe or something like that, or like early like Emo Phillips or something. Maybe a little less crazy
sound like
than
Emo
Emo Phillips.
I don't
Wow.
know if I don't know if I like the term complaint.
yeah. Well, but it's like
driving on the 406.
Why?
but
why?
Richard Lewis. But it's like you seem very put upon by this. You take it personally.
I think it's more of like
Why
a
does that
hobby
happen in
complaint.
front of me?
See, there
He
you go.
sounded like Emo Phillips right there.
Why?
Emo Phillips doing Matt Damon in what's it
The
called?
Informant.
The Informant. I was going to say The Imposter, but yeah.
Real good movie. A little over 2 hours.
Is Emo Phillips alive?
I'm not
Yes.
sure.
He
I'm going to
is.
say yes.
He could be listening to this right
Have
now.
you seen what he looks like now?
No.
Weird. It's just as weird, but in a different way. We can pull it up.
Yeah, let's.
We can pull it
What
up.
does he look as weird as Carrot Top?
That's
this
weird.
Is this going to be on the podcast?
Yeah, I'll put it on the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see him do that? He just pulled it over from one screen to the other.
That's
it's the same.
2
No,
monitors.
the old emo.
That's how 2 monitors
Yeah.
work.
Emo Phillips.
Yes, that's how we.
This
Oh
is what
my.
he looks like now.
Oh, wow. He looks like a German designer from the 30s, like maybe Otto Schlemmer or something. Or Eugene Levy.
Okay.
No.
I like how Google Images doesn't let you like zoom in, but this is what he kind of looks like.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, he's looking pretty good
He
then.
looks like what's his name?
You know, you guys can't see it.
Eugene Levy?
No,
there we go, yeah.
well, a little bit.
Eugene Levy's son?
No, what's that guy's name?
Eugene Levy?
No.
Well,
His
see, I was expecting way weirder than that. Like,
Yeah.
I guess you got to see him with the full pants. Like it's hard to describe.
Full
He's
pants.
got
What's Billy Idol doing there?
looking good.
It's a nice day. I went to see Billy Idol.
Andy Dick. That's who he looks
Andy
like.
Dick.
Andy Dick.
His name's
Anyway, he's got these
Andy.
parachute pants. I don't know why it's not coming up, but
Wow.
how about Mickey Rourke? Have you seen what Mickey Rourke looks like?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
with his sausage fingers and
No,
Oh,
well, just
his
like
face.
the clothing that he wears.
well, that too. But look at his fingernails. Zoom in on the fingernails.
I got the problem
Fingernails.
is I wanna show
Look at
the
these
podcasters,
fingernails.
Look at that face. Wow.
Whoa, whoa,
Oh, oh.
whoa! Those are ladies' jeans.
Like he has the weirdest outfits.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Wow.
Who's that?
This is all the same
Is that
person.
him?
This is all Mickey Rourke.
He has that perpetual, I've been frightened by Bono.
He's so weird.
Wow.
What?
Okay.
What? Anyways, you get the idea.
Yeah. Okay.
You get the idea. He's a freak.
Actually, rather than the complaint side of things, I just finished watching the second season of Fleabag.
Oh, don't know it.
Oh,
It's. I watched.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge, a British actress and writer. Oh, it is well worth your time.
Agreed. I was just watching the first season with my girlfriend. I think it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah,
the first
and-
season, and I think we're done that. We're
It
on
is-
season 2 now.
It is.
short season, 6
Yeah, it is.
episodes. That's a short season.
It's British. It's British.
It's
right?
good.
Oh, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Oh no, my mic.
Whoa.
I like
I'll just tighten her up.
I like when she speaks or she just looks to the camera.
Yes,
You know,
she breaks the
What?
fourth
Your
wall.
eyes are like saucers just because the mic dropped.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen before. But yeah, in the second season, the dude who plays Moriarty in the new Sherlock series, that one that got really bad really fast. Anyways, he's in it. He plays this priest, and she always breaks the fourth wall.
I've seen Priest. Maybe I am
Breaking
on
the fourth
season
wall.
2. I
Let's
don't
go.
even know.
Don't know anything about this at all.
And he like calls her on it. He's like, "What's going on
Yeah.
there? Where did you just go there?"
The
Yeah,
Office.
yeah.
You've
saw
watched
this.
the second season.
Yeah.
Just watch it. Calm down, Colin.
I'm just
Put the
pointing.
mic right up to your face there.
I don't want it in my nose.
Oh yeah, yes you do.
Well, we've gone past our playing out sound that just appeared out of nowhere to us. I think we've gone for a long while. Are you guys satisfied with the amount of podcasting that you've got in today?
Yes, this
Yeah,
this
sure,
has been
yeah.
a lot of fun.
I feel
And-
like we've only
Just begun.
we've just scratched the surface.
Only just begun.
That's what you should do as an outro. That song.
Yeah,
Oh, hang on,
the
hang
Carpenters.
on, I'll pull it up. No.
Are you allowed to
Shut-
do that?
Shut up.
Or the Righteous Brothers.
Right,
Keep
I
talking for a
I
second.
don't really like the Righteous Brothers.
Okay.
I don't know.
Now who's complaining?
Ooh, a zoom. Oh, I just hit my headphone.
Careful, you're gonna hit Raphael behind
You
you.
got a turtle there, yeah.
Who's
His
Raphael?
thigh is close to poking you in the neck.
Oh, okay.
I've been watching him the whole time. You're lucky.
Pop, yeah.
Little pop.
Yeah.
Now back on.
There we go. Is it Josh Rogan?
want to play that. See, I
Who's Josh Rogan? Seth Rogan?
Oh yes, indeed. I like this. I like this.
Right, that's the sample you're
Hey, yo, hot tap.
No.
Do me a favor, man. Speed it.
Oh, okay. That's.
beginning, just the beginning part.
Oh yes, indeed.
I'm thinking of the song actually by the Carpenters.
Oh, I was too.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar. It's kind of similar.
It took a couple seconds for it to slip through the layers of my brain.
Well, I want to thank you guys for being my guest today. I'm sorry
we're done.
that I hurt your ears with the pops and the bings and the bongs.
I kind of liked it.
Yes, thank you, Deke,
Loosen the earwax.
for providing this form and yeah, it was.
Hopefully
Yeah,
we've
thank you.
changed millions of lives today. And
I think that's
4.
yeah.
inevitable.
Certainly 4 have been
And we want to
changed.
thank our listeners for listening. Please like and share and subscribe or whatever you do to these
Do it
things.
now.
Are we going to be back? Are we going to do this again?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do another one?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
Well,
yeah.
what about
Volume-
you,
this is
Colin?
just
If
volume
you,
one.
if as long as you don't get too negative on us. here.
Was I negative?
Every 5 years we'll do this.
I'm not really.
Yeah.
I'm not negative.
I
That's
might be
negatives.
retired by then, so yeah.
You can tell us about retirement.
Maybe I'll
Eat it,
be
Greg.
full time by then.
Well, let's not go that far.
I might just become a garbage man.
And just to play us out, we'll get that sound back that you guys like so much.
Oh,
I
is
believe
this
it's-
Is
I think
Drinking
it's
Liquor with
this-
DJ Deke? Or no, the other one.
Here's the outro sound.
Okay. Outro sound.
No,
No, it didn't
Nothing.
go.
not working. Call yourself a
it is.
DJ?
Here it is.
Outro. Yeah, that's
Was that
nice.
you?
Yeah.
That could have
Can
been
I
part
get
of, that
that?
could be part of your
Could be part
track.
of it.
Can I get that so when I walk into my class, every time I walk in the class, like that sound?
Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll understand that.
And then they'll perk up and pay attention.